This one is an absolute bargain. Hi, first of all, you probably noticed the background's turned a different colour. I'll tell you a little secret. For me, it's a colour coordination thing where the colour at the background tells me what I'm testing in the video. So when I come back later and I'm doing something else, I can compare it to my background and find all the videos with the same kinds of settings. I won't tell you what the coding is, but you will probably notice that both the picture and the sound might be quite different this time because I have changed things over. I won't say what those things are yet because that's going to be a couple of future videos. So this little beauty is the MXL990 and it comes in at less than a Rode NT1A. And I think this sounds absolutely fantastic. It's quite nicely built. When you consider the price, this is actually very well built for that price, I think. It comes with a mount for your stand. It doesn't come with this stand. This is one I've got it on, but it comes with this hard mount. But this is the surprise. It comes with this box. And you think of the price of this package, it's quite amazing. It comes in this box, which is rather nice. And inside is a space for the mount I've just shown you. The microphone, of course. And a shock mount, which is really, really nice. And inside a little adapter and some spare rubber bands. So this is a pretty good package. To be honest, pretty comprehensive. Not only does it come with that lovely box and all the bits inside, but it also comes with this leaflet, and this could be very handy for a lot of people because inside it details how to record different types of things, and it tells you how to record different instruments going to the voice, placement of microphone, and a lot of people would benefit from something like this, and it's aimed at the real beginner wanting to know how to get really good sound. So that is actually very useful. The other thing it comes with is the spec sheet, of course, and the specifications say that it goes from 30 Hertz to 20 kilohertz with a cardioid polar pattern, so it should be resisting sound from the rear. Of course, if you're speaking with it there, it'll be resisting sound from that side. Impedance of 200 ohms, a sensitivity of 15 millivolts. Noise level is not as low as the Rode NT1A, it's at 20 dBA. Now 20 dBA comes down to about 74, and that's not the lowest. But the funny thing is, although it has a quoted noise figure, which I'm a bit uncomfortable with, it's getting on to the point where you might start hearing it. I have found it's not too intrusive when you're speaking, to be honest. The signal to noise ratio, this is something I don't get, they quote it at 80 dB, but the equivalent noise they're quoting is 20 dBA. Now I don't know how that works because normally 20 dBA amounts to 74 dB and they're quoting 80 dB, so I'm not quite sure how that noise figure works. Maximum SPL is 130, so there's lots of room there for volume, and it's a really nice champagne finish. I must be honest, I do like a black microphone because it doesn't show so much in lights if you have it in shot. But it's a nice classy looking microphone, and it's got that sort of, I don't know, I think it's a slightly old-fashioned look, I think, but it's a rather nice looking mic. So let's see how it sounds. This is the sound of the MXL990 as you would normally be using it as a voiceover type microphone. So it's in shot, it's right in front of my face, and you would normally use these mics this way. Now you can probably hear that these are very clear sounding microphones. They don't have a massive boost in the bass. It has a fairly flat mid response, although there is a few little waves there I noticed on the frequency response, and a lift in the treble. Now the thing is, the lift in the treble gives you clarity with your speech. It can also give you a little bit of sibilance, so some people might find that this microphone is perhaps a little bit sibilant. In that respect, it kind of compares with the Rode NT1A actually. But the thing is, the Rode NT1A has a really ridiculously low noise floor. This one is quoted at 80 dB with that other confusing figure that doesn't tally, but this is the actual noise floor I'm getting with this setup. So that gives you some idea of the sound of this microphone and the kind of noise that you get with it. I don't think the noise is too intrusive, to be honest. Now this is the sound of the microphone from the front. This is the sound of the microphone from the side. This is the sound of the microphone from the rear. Back to the side, and I don't know if you've noticed, but the side sound doesn't sound that different in timbre from the front sound, which is a good thing because it means any reflections you're picking up are not going to add to the overall sound of the microphone. So I think in that respect it's extremely good. And when you think the cost of this microphone and the package that you get that box, you get the other mount, although I'm not using the other mount at the moment, I'm just using the direct sort of mount. This is the one that will respond to tapping noises quite readily. You get a heck of a package, and actually for beginners that little booklet that comes with it is really very good. Very good advice on where to put a microphone for the best speech. Of course, if you wanted to, you could boom this if you've got a stand that's strong enough to hold it. Now I'm going to try and show you what it would sound like boomed. So I'm going to turn it upside down and let's hope that nothing falls off. Now, a typical boom position would be something like that. Now, the idea is when you've got it boomed, you're sending it straight into your body, which will soak up some of the sound reflections. The back is looking at the ceiling, so it's hopefully being rejected, and there's not too much close to the side. So in that kind of position, this mic should work pretty well. But if you're going to boom a mic like this, you do need a solid stand because they are quite substantial in weight. This is why, you know, very often I would use a pencil or even a shotgun mic because they're much lighter and a bit easier to manipulate. But that's the sound of this microphone if you boomed it above your head. Again, I could get it out of picture and take it further away. And now I'm booming right down. Let's check that it's pointing at me. I'm booming right down at me out of shot. So this is about 1.5 feet away from me. And the sound of the room may have been lifted a little bit more, but hopefully it's still retaining that clarity that this mic actually has. I think it's a great value mic. When you think the whole package comes out, I think it's 70 to 80 pounds. This is a pretty good mic for that. And the package together with this microphone, I think is absolutely superb. I would say if you're just learning audio and you want to get into better sound for your videos, something like this would be a great thing to get because not only have you got a good package, you have actually got a decent microphone with this at a low cost, and that booklet would help you a great deal. So I think this is a fantastic beginner's microphone if you really want to up your game as far as sound goes. But remember that you can only really use something like this when you're not mobile because it's very cumbersome, it's quite heavy. You'd need something much smaller if you're moving around with a camera. But for voiceover type stuff and for stuff that you want to just speak to the camera as I'm doing now, this microphone is perfectly good. And I could use this quite happily because I quite like the sound of this microphone. And if it just had a slightly lower noise floor for me, I'd be even happier. But that's because I've got the Rode NT1 anyway, which is very low in noise. Something like, I think it was at 5 dBA. Which is 89 dB. This one is 9 dB behind, so they say, or if it's what I'm thinking, it is 74 perhaps, I'm not sure, because the two figures kind of clash. If it's at 74, it's quite a distance behind the Rode noise floor, and that's the one thing that if I'm using a microphone at home, I think I would want as low a noise floor as possible so that hopefully the noise of my house is louder than the noise of the microphone. That would be ideal. Being that I live in not a particularly quiet house, I've got the heating on at the moment, and yeah, I've got there's a heater going on in another room. This isn't the quietest of environments, so this would be perfectly adequate for this house. So in a way, the Rode NT1 for me is a bit like overkill, but I'd rather have it low than have the noise of the house plus the noise of the microphone. But as a beginner's microphone, I think this one is absolutely spot on. A great microphone to use. Hope this was useful to you, might give you some ideas for your own audio, and I hope to see you next time. Cheers for now.